Hi guys, hope you can see me. It's really early in the morning. That's the cruel hour that I have to get up and go to work. There's always a traffic jam in my path to work. There's always a traffic jam in the city I live in, which is in oops, which is in northeast Romania. Iași, the city that I live in, is both north and east. Well, it's the first 10 days of December. No, actually it's December. What day is today? It's December 10. Yeah, it's December 10 because last Monday I had a presentation and it was December the 3rd. So today is December 10. Yeah. I was thinking about doing a video about the traffic jam and its implications on human health, but I got caught up in another idea. It's one of those moments when you start your camera and start vlogging, but you don't actually know what you're going to vlog about, and you can't find the proper words to do it. So anyway, the traffic. I've been to major European cities, and all throughout Europe the traffic is the same. I believe that everybody bought cars, and well, some of them the cheap ones. And probably one of the biggest fears of our generation is that eventually these machines, these automobiles that everybody bought because they were cheap, they were second-hand automobiles, will probably last forever because we cannot afford, that's one of the fears, because we cannot afford new ones. Well, yes, they're incredibly expensive. So if you want to buy a car cash on hand, it will cost you 50,000, 60,000 euros. I'm talking about, you know, the cars that people would normally buy. It's not like you're going to buy a Mercedes with 120,000 euros just to, you know, drive around town in your Mercedes. I actually seen people that bought a Mercedes SUV 4x4, all leather, all hooked up in electronics and gadgets and you know, buttons. And there was a, well, I need the car just to do my job around the city, you know? Yeah, like you going to pilot a spaceship throughout the city because you're some sort of Batman or something. Yeah, you really need a Mercedes SUV just to get things done around the city. So I'm amending that hypocrisy, which is one of my, one of the things that get me annoyed the most in the world. Just that hypocrisy of some people. And returning to our traffic problem, I believe that in this city specifically, or in any city in Romania and throughout Europe, that's one of the biggest problems because the cars are hugely expensive. Many people don't afford new cars, so they buy the second-hand ones. And if you look at our pollution index, so there are many websites that you can go to and check out your area and how many ppms of pollution particles are there. You will find that this has raised, the numbers has gone up since, well, the legislation the laws regarding buying new cars and the the laws regarding buying new cars or buying a second-hand one. I'm thinking about the pollution tax being lowered. Since that moment, the number of used cars that run through the streets and pollute the cities has punched way up. So next time you're thinking about the environment and thinking about the future of yourself and of your kids that will probably have to breathe the same air that will be around 10 years from now, from all those cars and all the pollution they build up, because people cannot afford new cars, or they would rather prefer buy used ones, and they also are tricking with the engine. I have some friends of mine that told me they know people go to a service shop, to auto service, and tweak the engine, maybe bypass some parts that regulate this pollution filter with the EGR and stuff like that. I'm not really familiar with what it's called, because I'm no car expert, but they are doing that because they have to change those filters and have to make those repairs in time, and that costs money, and they would prefer to bypass it just because they can. So think about that when you are in traffic next time, and you see that smoke coming from all the cars, and you're thinking like, wow, that's a lot of pollution. Where will this smoke go? Well, it will go in your lungs, in your kids' lungs, and they will start having asthma and allergies and all the things that we used to read on the books and think that they will never happen, in our yard. Those things will never happen to us. Well, guess what? They will. So, well, if you can buy a new car, just go ahead and buy one. But if you decide to buy a second-hand car, just buy a car that is environmental friendly, and don't skip the line. Don't bypass the important parts of the engine just because you can, thinking that, well, it won't matter if it's one car, yours, that it's polluting more than others, because everybody's doing it. It's the same thing with this as with the throwing up, littering in the streets, throwing away papers and all sorts of packages and boxes, just because everybody throws his cigarette off the car. Why can I do it? Yeah, because that's the kind of thinking that will lead us to progress. Okay, this is not a hate vlog, but I just want to build up some awareness and vlog early in the morning. It's 7:30 when I left home. It was still dark. But now, look, I managed to get away with traffic. I'm driving, speeding now, roaring through the city. Bye.